no point today did you hear more than 40 to 50% of what she's totally capable of. We're undergoing a long, multi-year, $16 million campaign to bring both this instrument and the second pipe organ in the building, in the Adrian Phillips Theater, back to life. We do that through the kindness of people like you. If you can remember our donation box on your way out, we greatly appreciate it. I've said for many years this may be the world's largest instrument, but we have the world's smallest gift shop. There are some CDs available there. Big Screen on the Boardwalk is the last 100 years of film, and Deck the Hall is holiday music, and both of those CDs feature both organs and multiple organists, so we hope you might want to take one of those home with you. When we're talking about raising this money, $5 a month doesn't sound like a lot, but to us, it makes a world of difference. The cost of a cup of coffee can help us bring this instrument back to life, and you can set up monthly giving on our website or by giving us a phone call on the number on your program today. And I do apologize that we ran out, but we usually anticipate about 60 people for a recital. We have 76 guests here today, so thank you. These recitals will continue for the next 2 days. That's the end of our daily recital series. It is at 3 p.m. the next 2 days. If you came for our curators tour, we're going to begin that right about now. So if you're here with the tickets for the curators tour, as you head out, head just to your right, and I'll check you all in there. Or if you need tickets, I can check you in with that as well. And for the rest of you, thank you for joining us, and hope we'll see you all again soon.
Well, I think you can hear me, and I think you know where I am. But I want to tell you this, that this will be the last time, well, the daily recitals will end just before this week, Labor Day weekend, Friday. But they'll still play free recitals every Wednesday, I think, through December. I'm actually going to, and I've done this before, but for you, as part of my contribution, I'm going to purchase the Christmas CD and hold on to that until Christmas time, and that'll be a special giveaway to one of you. But I'll be asking you some trivia questions about the pipe organ, some easy ones. You know, like what goes through a pipe to make the sound? Wind, obviously. So there'll be some easy questions, but I'll have one of those CDs. I'm going to get the Christmas CD and hold on to that until Christmas, and that'll be a prize for somebody. And it also supports the restoration of the organ. I got to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm not going to make you dizzy by taking you down the escalator. But if you're curious to know more about this pipe organ, it is the largest fully functional, well, it's not fully functional yet, so I'll take that back. It is the largest pipe organ in the world. The largest fully functional is in Philadelphia in the John Wanamaker building. It really does not make a difference. Both of these instruments are super fantastic, and they both have a wonderful character of their own. As you heard, this one is only about 60% playable. Today, you heard anywhere from 40 to 50% of it. I think I heard him put on the Grand Clyde pipe at the very end, which is the big 64-foot pipe at the very end of the Star Spangled Banner. But didn't you enjoy the marimbas and the Celeste? And during the West Side Story, we got to hear some of the instruments that are percussion instruments that are non-wind instruments that are actually part of the pipe organ. There is a website where you can learn about this organ and the other organ in this building, a wonderful, this is the Mid-Merlache, but there's also a wonderful Kimball organ in the ballroom, which is fantastic on its own. So from Atlantic City, I will say toodle oodle. Let me go grab some saltwater taffies, and I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye for now. I'll let you see the organ one more time. Oh, I know what I want to tell you while you're still watching. Music comes out of that chamber, There are chambers here that you cannot see, or you can just barely see the top of. That, which looks like air conditioning, grill work, that's a pipe chamber. And there's also a pipe chamber up there. Um, this organ was installed in 1930, but it was heavily damaged during a great northeastern storm in the fall of 1944. They didn't name storms then, but just a few weeks before my mother was born in 1944, this building was flooded with millions of gallons of seawater, and it blew out relays and messed up. It didn't damage pipe work, but it did damage in the sub basements, and so the organ has never really fully played since then. When they installed air conditioning in the 1960s for one of the conventions, I don't remember whether it was Democratic or Republican. I believe it was a Democratic convention. When they installed air conditioning in this building in the 60s, more damage was done. And then additional damage was done when some renovations were done in the 90s. So it's only been in the last about 10 years that they've been raising money to restore this thing. I want to live long enough to hear it fully functional. So if you have $1, 50 cents, $5, and you've got to hear it, you say, pipe organ, I go to church. I'm telling you, you haven't heard anything until you come and hear this pipe organ in person. It is well worth it the next time you're in the Northeast. Make a pit stop in Atlantic City, but check the website to see. And as I said, the daily concerts are now over with, except for Wednesdays. Okay, and if I said anything wrong, you can go to the website of the Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall organs, and you'll see all of that. Now, I have to double check wallet, keys, cell phone, personality, and I'm out of here. Okay, thank you everyone. It was fun. Thanks for watching. This place is just massive. Can you see? Construction, I believe the building opened in 1929 or 30. Anyway, I better get out of here before I have to spend the night. Bye. How do I turn this thing off? Wait a minute. I never know how to do this. Boop.